Hello everyone. Oh, just making myself comfortable. Right, Eileen here from a very warm and bright and sunny morning in North Kent. It's gorgeous outside, so without more ado, I'm going to share this card with you, and then I'm off for a bit of a walk, I reckon, because it's lovely weather. Anyway, I've had lots of messages about this card. Thank you very much for your interest. Thank you very much for being with me today. And so I've put this together, a little demonstration. I'll get on with it. And then, and also why I'm quite excited is two reasons, actually. It's Formula One weekend from Austria, so I'm looking forward to the racing. And this evening on Facebook, I'm doing a live, Facebook Live at 6 o'clock, sharing a couple of cards with you, one from Clarity Crafts and the other one from Sweet Poppy Stencils. And then tomorrow night, I'm doing another Facebook Live, and that will feature two more cards using Lavinia products. Now, I could have done it all in one hit, but I think a Facebook Live, you know, sometimes can be a bit stressful, coupled with the fact 4 cards and the time it would take. I'd be snoozing by the end of it, to be honest, if not falling asleep on the desk face down. So 6 o'clock this evening, and on Facebook Live on my profile page, and then 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, UK time. And enough of that, let's get on then. I'm going to show you how I created this. A piece of cardstock. Let's take this away. I've got a blending mat here as well. So I've got a piece of cardstock. This is from Paper Mill Direct, and it is ivory. Yeah, not cream. I find the cream a little bit too yellow. This is ivory cardstock. It's got to be one of my favourite colours to use. And I want some tape. And this is from Sweet Poppy Stencils, low tack tape. Now this is on the arm with my camera, so you might find the camera rocking a little bit. Apologies for that. So it would help if I had the stencil in place, wouldn't it? Because that's the first thing we're going to do. Okay, I've got a stencil from Clarity Crafts. And I'm just finding out, and it's called, it's a flower mandala. And it is, the code number is STEFL 00942. That's 00942. It's from the back issues of the Craft Stencil Club. I belong to Clarity's Craft Stencil Club, where I get for a small fee, I get membership that allows me to join in the half price sale when you get 50% off, providing you're a member, and there's one of those coming up. And also I get a free stencil, well, not free because I paid a subscription, but I get a stencil every month. And this was some months back, and it is one of my favourites. So using that, my cardstock is 14 centimetres by 14 centimetres. So I'm just going to pop that down on there, checking the camera that you can see me okay. I'm just popping a bit of tape on now. Have to make sure it's firm, but at the same time, it's a very quick exercise this, so I'm not too bothered about taping it all the way around. I'm using Ranger's Distress Texture Paste in translucent. This dries quite quickly, about 20 minutes or so maybe. And I'm using a plastic spatula. So popping down a small amount of the texture paste. I don't want to do the whole stencil, so I'm starting from the middle, all right, just popping it down randomly. It's not in any particular pattern. I don't want to cover all of the stencil, and I'm making sure I'm being a bit rough here. It's like buttering bread, which you shouldn't do if you're doing screen printing with a metal stencil. But with a plastic stencil, you can get away with murder. So I'm just popping that down, keeping mainly to the middle. Take off the residue. Put your spatula and your stencil into water. Easier to clean off, and I've got some water handy nearby. And then you're left with this. I'm going to hold it up to the camera to make sure you can see this okay. What do you reckon? Can you see that? Yeah, look. So it's on there, but it isn't really thick. I don't want the image to be raised up, you know, really raised off of the card. I just wanted a thin coating, and that's what I've got. Okay, so what do we do now? Well, you have to wait now. Put your feet up, have a cup of coffee, watch a bit of television. But here is one I made earlier. And that's dry now. So hold it up to the camera so you can see it again. This lighting's not very good, is it? There you go. So that's bone dry because I made it yesterday. It's always best to leave it as long as you can. So popping that down. And now I'm going to apply a bit of ink. I've got a makeup brush and some speckled egg distress ink. Use any colour you like. I just love blue. Just blend a bit of it out onto a mat. And then starting in the middle, round and round, put on as much colour as you like. So you can have pale blue or deeper tones, just add more ink. Now I'm bringing it out so that there's sort of a blue mist right the way around the outside of the stencil. And then back in again, plonking more in the middle. A little bit more colour, I think, around the outside. It's sort of fading out. As I'm going to the outside edges of the circle, so to speak, I'm releasing the pressure on the head of the brush. So it's not held as firmly, so it's just kissing the cardstock. That should do. Okay. Now taking a dry cloth, just going to wipe some of the ink away from the design in the middle. You will be going over these raised petals of the flower anyway, but it removes some of the blue there. Okay, next, bring on the stamp press. Here we are. Tell I'm in a good mood today. You're getting singing now. Well, I think you might call it that. Pop it in. Now for this next bit, you do need a stamp press and you do need archival ink. I'm using jet black archival because I want the image to be very noticeable. But archival ink will go over the top of plastic, and of course that is what that texture paste is. Now it's dry, it's a coating of plastic. VersaFine Clear will never dry, I don't think. And other inks unless they're archivals. They won't dry. This will, but it still takes a bit of time. So, using the stamp and from this set, and I'll give you the name of this. This is from the Kiss range by Clarity, and it's Tina's Retro Hearts and Leaves. There's 10 stamps in all. Got a nice selection. I've also got the word with, and I can't find it at the moment, but it is around somewhere. So you get 10 stamps, and I'm using this large heart. Unusual design. I think it's really lovely, and I've used it on a lot of cards. So popping that down, position it straight down, make sure it's straight, vertically. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. And then adding your archival jet black. Now this is re-inked, this ink pad, so it's quite juicy without being absolutely swamped with ink, but it's still quite juicy. And over we go. It's going to take a few impressions to get this right. And I'm using a Speedball Baron as a pressure tool. Well, that's amazing. Look, it's come out straight away and it's okay. That's good, but I'm still going to give it another bash. But that looks pretty good. Shows you what re-inking your ink pad can do, doesn't it? Checking fingers. Over we go. Lovely jubbly. Now, because you've used texture paste, you can't dry this with a heat gun, because you'll make the texture paste sort of bubble up. You don't want that. So that goes to one side, and you need for the ink to be really dry. Don't be tempted to touch it for at least an hour. Just pop it to one side. Fortunately for you and for me, here is another one that I made earlier. Slightly different blue, this one. It's an archival ink called Sky Blue, I believe. It's pretty, but I still prefer the speckled egg, to be honest. But it's dry. Now, the way to test it is just to hold it over your copy paper. And if it comes off absolutely totally clean, there's no black there, you're fine. If you don't get it totally dry and you try colouring in, your crayons are going to move the black and it's going to smudge. So be patient, let it dry, and it's sort of a very simple procedure from then on. I'm using polychromos pencils. I've got a few colours here, any colours you like. These are reds. And I'm going to start off with this one. What's this one? This is dark red. These are polychromos pencils. Very gentle. Now I'm going to rush this a bit because I'm short of time, because I want to get out into that sunshine. Going over the raised texture paste images, so you're going over the raised areas, and I'm just going to fill in with some colour here and there on this half, on the left hand side of the heart. I put as little or as much colour on as you like. It's not easy to colour over these plastic areas of this image. you know, the texture paste image. It's not easy. So just concentrate the colour on the areas where it really shows and don't panic too much about others. And if you make a mistake, which I have here, because I don't like the look of that, I'm just getting an eraser to take that out. One of the joys of using crayons, you can get rid of the colour if you don't like it. And then I'm going to use a darker red. This one, I think. Just on the outside edge there, or the inside of the heart. You don't need a lot of skill to do this. You've obviously sussed that already. Just technical term, just bung it on. Smooth it out with an eraser so that you get rid of some of the pencil lines. And then I need a brush to brush that off. Get a few bits floating about from the eraser. And then I'll use another red here. So I've used 3 different tones of red. Can you tell? No, not really. But it'll look good when we're finished. So that is as far as I'm going to go with the colour. Yep. You don't need a degree in colouring to do this. You've gathered that. Now, so shove the pencils away and then bring on the secret ingredient, which is a wink of Stella. Yeah, you know these, you get different colours. Don't know what this one is. This is from Tonic Studios. This is Nouveau. Then there's Wink of Stella. And what's this one? Spectrum Noir Sparkle. Same sort of thing. So, you know, different makes. This Spectrum Noir one, which I don't think you can get anymore, but you can get Wink of Stella in a sparkle. This is the best one out of the 3 that I've found. So just starting it off, I'm going to bring that up so you can see it. Look, see it sparkle? Oh, yeah. And all you're doing now is colouring over the whole of the heart. Colours, pencils, raised images, all the petals. You can go outside if you like. There's no rules. I won't tell you off. Just, I'm filling in and making it look, and it's got sort of little bits of glitter in this one. And if you can get one with little bits sort of glitter in, I'd advise you to use that, because I found that being the best effect that I've found so far. Now, if you want to do all these other outside images with that and make them sparkle as well, why not? There you go. So I'm going to hold that up because you can't see it too well. But it really, when it's dry, you can, oh, that's a little bit better. When it's dry, you get the full force of the sparkle. And we all need that on a Saturday morning. Right. Putting the lid back on. I've now got my Sharpie, just going to edge. This sparkle stuff takes a while to dry, and as it dries, Wink of Stella will be exactly the same. As it dries, it gets more sparkly. So I've just edged that. I've got a tiny little bit of coloured pencil in an area I didn't want it to be. So that's 14 centimetres by 14 centimetres, and then I'm getting a larger piece of cardstock, and that is, I think this is 16 centimetres by 16 centimetres. Then I've just got to stamp the word love, and this is also from Clarity Stamps. I don't know what set it's from because I don't put it back into the set. I use this so often, this stamp, that I keep it on my desk all the time. It's a great little stamp just for popping a word in somewhere, and with very little skill. You don't have to worry about being too straight with this because it's so tiny, no one will notice if it isn't straight. Do you get me? Yeah, of course you do. Right, archival ink. And then I'm going to pop this down here. Let it rest, let the ink soak in, up. Yeah, I've stamped better than that, but you get the picture. And that, my friends, is it. I'm not going to stick that down. You don't need me to do that. Why not? I'm not going to do it because it's boring. And I'm looking for my display board. So, that is it. It seems it really doesn't matter what your crayon lines are like. That Wink of Stella or whatever pen that you've got soothes out the lines so it looks smoother. Okay, I enjoyed making that. I'm off out and about now. Might take Daisy for a walk. See you soon. Thanks for looking, everyone. Don't forget, Facebook Live this evening and again tomorrow on Facebook. Bye for now.